Well, you know what time it is? It is another episode of Ceed Chat. Now, this is a more relaxed and more welcoming environment where you get to air your own thoughts, air your own opinions. And don't forget, we always tell you at the end of every episode that if you have questions, if you have comments, and if you have topics that is bugging you as an employee or a manager, whatever it is, send it to us and we'll definitely do justice to it because that's what we do here. Anyways, today is another episode of Ceed Chat and I'm excited because we have our, how do I say it? Our business boss, business manager, business guru, business mogul, business everything. And by the way, if you watched the last episode, this time around, I went to read more maths so that if they ask me maths question, I can answer fast. Only those that watched the last episode can tell. Anyways, I have with me Mr. Ajibola Bamidele, a managing partner at Certification Edge. Thank you so much for joining us once again.
Thank you for having me.
And I am ready for you this time.
Okay, I'm ready for you too.
All right, my name is Blessings Masuga, and today we are talking about a very, very pivotal issue. So you see, the issue that people discuss towards the end of the month from 25th, 28th, 30, 15, 30, you see a lot of people talking about one particular issue, and that is delayed salary. So today we're going to be looking at why exactly do people delay salaries? Why do companies delay? Is it that it's a hobby or is there a reason for delaying salary? And definitely Mr. Ajibola Bamidele is here to help us do justice to that. So thank you once again for joining us, Mr. Ajibola.
Thank you very much.
So the issue now is a lot of people are lamenting, and it's now a monthly anthem. Pay our monies, right? And it now feels as though it's a recurring situation. Now, it's understandable that some companies are startups or sometimes they don't meet up to expectations, so they don't make as much money. But the question,
it's not understandable.
It's not that big.
No, it's not.
So,
It's not. It's like you've carried a load you cannot carry.
Thank you. That's the word. So the question, let me just ask for formality because you have already started answering. So let me just the question is, why do people delay salaries? Why do managers or companies delay salaries?
I feel it's about indecision. You've carried a load that your business cannot keep. It's just like, why do people owe school fees? Why do people owe rent? You're staying where you should not stay. Your income cannot pay. So you're doing more than yourself. As a boss, I've been hiring people for 18 years. I've never hold salary before. And it's about number one, you are wicked when you hold salary. Because a laborer is worthy of his wages at the right time. Because those guys also have things to do with money. You're not the only one. So if you know you cannot pay, you let the person go. So it still boils down to indecision. You have more staff they're not delivering. And if they are delivering, because some bosses are wicked, such that the business is making money, but they've diverted the money to something else.
Yeah.
And not back to the business. That's an issue of corporate governance. That's bad. So, but if that's not the case, if that the business does not have money, we start looking at the underlying issues. It's possible that they have a sales team that is not selling. They have people that are not doing. So you ask yourself, why are they there?
These are. So when you say that the company does not have money, I want us to clarify this. It's either one of two things. Is that the company does not have money again, or they didn't have money in the first place? So that's two conversations that we should be having, because if you don't have money in the first place, why hire? Just like you said, carry more than you can handle.
Yeah.
But then again, if you don't have money, at that moment, isn't there like a contingency plan that should be in place that, okay, whatever happens, these salaries, we don't joke with it? Because it's a win-win situation if you ask me, right? You want your staff to come into work, they do that diligently, and then when it's time to pay them, there are like issues that you start seeing mail flying up and down towards the end of the month.
Okay, so part of, there are different departments. And part of the roles of everybody coming to the company, some are meant to generate revenue. You see, no business, when businesses are hiring, really, when they're hiring, it means that they have a problem. No business hire without a problem. So they need people to come and solve that problem. So they need you to come and help them make money. So you're saying they should have had the money. No, they have forecasts that if we do this, these are assumptions. If. Now, it's possible that if I had people that are not putting them all self, don't forget, we also have people that work, if you know Pareto's theory, only 20% of employees really would deliver. So it's possible that 80%, that 20% cannot pay for the 80%. And they don't want to shed weight because they need it. So it might be that they have wrong forecasts. Sometimes we overestimate the breakthrough. And that's what happens in business and some businessmen. They just believe, they think like, what do you call it, this thing, MMM. That they just do something, miracles will happen, they will have more money. But you need to count your costs.
It's not backfire.
Yeah. You need to also count, okay, do I have money to pay these guys I want to hire in 3 months? Since probation part-time is 3 months. And if I lose the money, can I recover? But some businesses don't want to even lose the money at all. If they don't make the money, they hold you for 6 months. So we must think about it. People go out every day. They're spending money on transportation. They're coming back to work. They have their personal bills. They have their housing to pay for, food, everything. So you cannot afford to deprive them. So if they're not making money, confront it and fix non-performance. So someone that should not be on your payroll again, remove the person. But for somebody to be on your payroll and you're not paying that person, it's lack of empathy. That's wickedness.
You know, when you talk about depriving people of what they deserve, I remember the story of my friend who worked somewhere, and every month, right, they delay their salaries. And you know, employees, there are so many, like you said, there's so many things to handle, so many bills to pay, so many things to settle. So you, at the end of the day, an employee ends up borrowing money from Peter to pay Paul and all of that. So employees always had, so many things to handle. And then this company kept owing them salaries. Like they can pay 15th of the next month, like 16th, 20th of the next month. And then at one time, the HR now sent a memo to the entire, team and says, well, your salary is not coming in early this month. Bear with us. But if you want to take a loan, we can give you a loan. How does that even make sense?
No, that doesn't make sense.
You can give me a loan, but you would rather use my money to give me a loan and then I'll have to pay you back. So you see, we see those kind of ridiculous things in companies, and then
that's ridiculous.
They now try to impose it as though you have to understand that you have to. I shouldn't be taking a loan when I know that I am entitled to receive my money on a specific date, which brings me to another issue. So, I mean, is it not, I think it shouldn't be okay if, or shouldn't it be okay if, let's say, a company can afford to pay every 25th for some reason? I think that it will be understandable for you to say, okay, every 15th of the next month we'll pay you because that's when we can meet our target. Instead of now delaying the salary every month. If you pay me on the 15th of every month, I will know that, okay, this has become a trend. So, I mean, from 15th of this month to 15th of next month, that's 1 month, right? So I will understand that, okay, this has become a trend and I'll accept it like that. But you pay on the 15th today, you pay on the 30th tomorrow, you pay, that inconsistency just messes up a lot of people's budgets.
Yeah, but some people are not also good when it comes to money. Now,
that's
if you want to know
employees
your
now.
friend, generally even your friends, when you borrow your friend's money, that person, to pay back is always a problem. Not everybody pays back. Out of how many friends, 10 friends that you borrowed money, how many paid back at the right time? Sometimes you might even, one of the ways you keep your friends not to borrow their money, because that can also be an issue, because people have financial integrity, a problem with financial integrity. And your business is also an extension of who you are when it comes to financials. So if you look at the critical mass of people that struggle with paying people back what they owe, there are more than people that pay back. Have you not seen this trend? You're looking as if you don't know that it's true.
Yeah, actually, yes, because I've suffered that in the hands of so many people. In fact, I have learned now that for me to borrow, I no longer borrow money that I can't let go of.
That's a problem. Why? Why will you do that?
Because I don't trust the person to pay me back.
You see now? So now the challenge we're now facing is those people, if they start their businesses, those friends that don't pay back,
they will not find it hard to pay.
They find it hard to pay.
So is it like a character flaw?
It's a character flaw. Yes, it is a character flaw. If it happens every time, because you have a choice to shed weight, you have a choice to lay off. You see, there are different kind of termination. We have discharge. Somebody is not doing well, and you let the person go. Sometimes we have what we call layoff or redundancy. We cannot pay again. We cannot carry this weight. Okay, out of 100 people we have, can 50 go? Let's keep 50 that we can pay now. And let's work ourselves from the beginning. Let's start at little beginnings again and start earning and start paying.
But I somehow I still have a bias against that or towards that. I don't know how to phrase it. Because if you hire, looking at the job markets, it's not so easy to just find a job, right? So I get a job and
you're not getting money.
And then okay,
that's not a job now.
No, aside even not getting money, right? I get a job, and then at the end of the day, they said they cannot afford to pay everybody, so they're letting me go. I still have a problem with that, because why would you just wake up one morning? It's not like I'm not doing my job. I mean, yes, of course, the low performers will also be let go of, but some people who are performing that are not as high as others would also be. So why should I suffer the challenges that a company is suffering? I mean, you should have known that you can't pay me before you hire me.
So the challenge, I guess, what you've not gotten is that you're assuming that most businesses should have the money to pay you. No, it is the work we do, everybody collectively, that will bring the money.
Okay, so, but my own challenge is, why do some people, innocent people, have to suffer?
That's what we're saying the last episode. We're talking about 2 people are working hard, and there are 4 people on a team, and they could not pay because 2 are not delivering, but we still have them on the team. So if a company is not making profit, there's no way they can pay.
Okay, no, but that, I mean, those are 2 that are not delivering. But what if there are like 4 people on the team, right? 2 are doing exceptionally well. But 2 of them are trying, or let me say 1 of them is not delivering, but 1 is trying and is at least meeting up the average expectation. Why should that one that is trying now be let go? I mean, there are other options.
They will let go the ones that are not doing well too.
Yes, no, that one is there now. I don't have a problem with that, because the Yoruba people will say it will look right. But I'm talking about those who are trying, that are doing their best to meet up expectation. You still let them go. I mean, there are options, right?
Layoff is not you're letting go.
Is what?
Layoff means stay out for a while. We're going to call you back.
But you know how especially Nigerian company, no, it doesn't work. You know that doesn't work. Once they say stay out, just be going.
Hey, but you know, there are different kinds of tomato when you want to buy. You have, where in Yoruba will say we have one that is called ojure, that is good. We have the one that is called dented a bit. We have one we call esa. That's lower. So if the employee that you are telling that you want to lay off is ESA, you won't call the person back. If the person if the person is in the middle, you know, because for them to even let you go first, that step aside, it means in the strategy to come back, your name is not written there. That means only you just show up when things are working. You're not the kind of people that make things work. So let us make things work first. Then we bring you back again.
For how long? So I should go and sit down in my house and be drinking gari?
No, there's always a clause that, you can stay back, but in case you have another offer, we would let you go.
I mean, what happens to offering them pay cuts?
That's more dangerous, because somebody is earning 500,000. The bills, Nigerians, they carry more than what they can carry. So that person that's even earning 500,000 is on expense of 1 million. Pay cut.
We know these things.
Pay cut. That person will soon become a criminal. We start stealing.
Hey, well, that's their own problem now.
But pay cut, most times Nigerian people don't want to offer pay cut, because that might also increase demotivation. People will now be angry.
So which one will make you more demotivated? For you to lose your job, wake up one morning and be told that just step aside, we'll call you back. You don't know when, indefinitely. Or they just say, okay, this is the situation of the company. Let's just give everybody pay cuts for a while. I feel like that will even, because they know that for them to be offered pay cuts, they know that the other option would have been, let me go. But since these people
you
don't
are assuming those people want to build with that company. People will say, "Na me spoil, na me immobile." What do you call themselves? You hear me phrase in English. Am I the one that? Am I the cause of your problem? So why do you cut my pay? So most times, it's not always the best option to reduce, because people will still be demotivated and they'll be hungry. And anytime you reduce pay or have a pay cut, people are looking for something else to do. Those guys are just there for a while. They're looking for who will pay them. So if we are given a pay cut, that person is throwing CV everywhere. I'm looking for a job.
I feel like that's better than just letting them go, because now you've given them an option. Okay, we'll reduce your salary. If you want to stay, you can stay, and if you want to bounce, you bounce. Do you understand? So I feel like that way people will be like, can I manage?
Okay, so what if the product of the company is not selling anymore? Nobody's buying. What do you advise them to do?
Is he? You're putting on
No, I want to know. Okay, let's imagine that they're not selling anymore. What will you advise them to do?
Anymore, as in pata
People are
pata.
not buying again.
The business has packed up.
No, they are there. Human beings are there, but people are not buying their product.
Okay, which brings me to another point. Should there not be money in reserve? Now.
They're not selling. Should be paying reserve.
No, I'm just saying, like, they say, you save for rainy days now. Every company should know how to save for rainy days. So if that time comes that your business is not selling, you bring the money out.
No. The first thing you want to ask yourself is, why is our business not selling? Now, is it people issue? Is it product issue? If it's a product issue, before you even get to a point that we cannot pay anymore, you'll have seen a decline in should I say, profits, and you're not getting. So you start thinking about what to do. But you see, at some point you get to a point that you cannot pay again. You have to let.
But is there no, okay, so like you said now, when there starts to be a decline, people notice. So is there no way to just attack the problem from that point where it gets?
We can. But you know what do you think brought the decline? Sometimes is our work attitudes, is the things we are not doing. But people can be used to what is not working. Have you seen someone that the life is not working, but that person doesn't want to change what he is doing, that is not making it work? So now, letting people change the old that they are used to is always a challenge too. So sometimes people rather want to clean up and get new people to do what is right, because letting people change the old ways is the most difficult task. And what brought us to the pain cannot take the pain. We need to change the way we do things before. Convincing people to change the ways. Let me ask you a question. Fold your hands. Fold your hands. Yes. No, the way you want to fold your hands. Okay. No, like this.
Okay, like this.
Okay, refold. Now, you see, after a while, if you start talking, you're going to go back to the old. Because that old way is more comfortable. Even when the new ways are not, even when the old way is not working. So human beings are just meant to do things that looks comfortable, even when it's not working.
So from this angle now, are we talking about the organization sticking to their old ways, or the people?
Whose organization?
And because some organizations too, they don't want to change it.
What's an organization? Define it.
The company.
No, an organization
is a
group
I
of people.
Mass so that I will come and answer your question. Now you have brought another angle.
An organization is a group of people working together to achieve a goal. So the group of people is what is not working.
Okay.
Because there's no company without we all coming together and joining us, guys. Somebody is dropping the ball. A department is dropping the ball. And that's why things don't work. If everybody gives their best, maybe production is doing their best, but sales is not giving their best. Customer service is not giving their best. Sales is doing the best, but customer service is not doing everything to keep them. Then you have customers leaving. Customer turnover is very high, losing your customers. Of course, the business will still fail. Even when a department is doing their best, somebody is not doing that, and the management is not confronting that thing. And that's when we get to a point where we cannot pay. And when we get to that point, so I tell people that is a no-no as entrepreneurs. You must confront your business, and you must not get to a point that you cannot pay. First month, second month, third month, and you're watching. Then you're increasing your expense. You're increasing your load. You're increasing your debt. So what do? Fix it. First, reduce it. Start again. Don't stay there. It means that at that point in time, you don't have the capacity to pay. Then go back to your level. Just like someone that is, they say, in a duplex. And every time you keep owing, go back to one-room apartment. Right. Don't keep borrowing money every time and say, hey, my family, there are plenty. Let them find a way of staying where your money can afford. Then when you build again, you go back.
This is another conversation that we'll have, because it seems, especially in this part, well, not, let me not even say this part, everywhere in the world, it feels as if as money is coming, as more money, even if you are promoted to general manager, your responsibility will just double immediately. And I don't know how people do it.
Responsibility double, or you are the one. I told you.
You're spending. Let me say you're spending.
I did something. When I got married, you see, for the first 7 years, I was even for the first 6 years, I didn't change my chairs. I didn't change anything. I didn't change my TV. At some point, I stayed in a particular house for 12 years, whereby I was paying rent that was lower than. So I was not also buying cars that will make it look. So I was buying cars that fit that environment too. Until I left that environment. But it took me like, I'd already grown like 15, 20 times. Before, so a lot of times, a lot of us believe just this self-gratification. We want to let everybody know. It's not about everybody. It's about your income. How is it doing? So I feel that you having this that I must change level, is a problem. And nobody actually sees you.
So does it now mean that the reason why we have so many people complain about, we'll still come back to the salary delay, because I mean that on its own is a problem, but does it now mean that the reason we have so many people complain about salary delay is because they are not cutting, the way they say it's cutting their clothes according to their quotes or sizes? Is it now because to be honest, we see a lot of people,
You will complain, it's your money.
Yes.
So you should complain.
No, but I feel like even if you have some money saved up, the way it will pain you, or the way, let me not even say complain now, because you notice that towards the end of the month, a lot of people now become miserable because there's no money.
And because
which brings it to bad saving habits. There's this principle that says if you cannot buy it 5 times, don't buy it at all. We see a lot of people, especially in this Nigeria, hey God, slay queens and kings that buy wig. Let's say their salary is like, let's say 200,000. The wigs on their hair
it's 1 million.
is like 1 million.
And they need to pay for 5 months.
Yes.
Why?
I see a lot of people buying on credit. And that brings it back to borrowing. So because you have to borrow to keep up with lifestyle, and then you now start collecting things on credit, so you are now putting pressure on your organization. I mean, we're not saying that it's good to delay salaries, but the kind of lifestyle you're living is not the same. It doesn't match with the kind of money you're earning.
So the 2 ways now. The organization also must have reserve. The individual too must have reserve.
Yeah.
So that you're not just tensed. But however, back to the basics. You don't owe your staff
salary.
If you get to a point that you cannot pay, and the first month it happened, second month, man, you need to revisit your business model and redesign it, and just don't owe people, because people, if people go and steal, they'll come and meet you. They're the one that made them steal, and you cannot be free as an employer because of you. They went to go and steal and defraud people. Say, why? I've not been paid for this one. Employer, why? You are the one causing more evil in the world. So I feel that it's a no-no. However, employers should have reserve. But that reserve is not actually meant to be paid to pay for someone that is not working. So in case things are not working for you as an employer, please go and shed weight.
But let me not even lie. Let me be very factual now. In this current economy, it's very difficult to have reserve, because there's this, especially people that are frugal with their spending, they have budgets. They are feeding. In fact, transportation alone, I pity people who stay on the mainland. If you live in Lagos, you know what I'm talking about. You stay on the mainland, you work on the island. Your transport in a month is like 80,000. That one has gone first. So, looking at all these spendings, it can be very difficult to have reserve, to be honest. And that's why a lot of people always lament. And one thing, okay, we're going to take out a few minutes because we're running out of time to read some of the tweets that I found online. Then we'll now talk about the silence. That's another issue that the organizations keep. A lot of people just keep mum. You're not paying, but you're not saying anything.
That's a lot. That's what I'm talking about. Empathy.
Yes.
This is a bad way of this bad character.
Exactly.
I don't see that. It doesn't
so,
make
Sarah,
sense.
please let's hold that thought. Let me just read out some few tweets that I saw online. Now, this person says, "We work for a living, and having a job should help, but instead is a problem, specifically on salary aspect. Some people get paid low, and then some people's salaries are delayed," which is very true. You see a lot of people being motivated to work. Let's be honest, the passion is there, but the motivation is the money that you are getting, right, at the end of the month. Then that person says, "Oh, my salary, why are you playing hard to get?" So it's quite funny. And then this one says, "When you get a mail on the last day of the month that you should be expecting your salary, and it's a mail from the MD and it's titled salary delay, just know that you're in trouble." So, I mean, that brings me back to communication, right? You are delaying people's salaries. The least you can do is to communicate, empathize. Okay, we're sorry. Now, to be honest, I've worked with companies where they delayed salaries. That one is not even debatable, but at the end of the day, they communicate with you. And some people, they will even say, okay, for the junior staff, we're going to help you with, even if it's 10K, add to your transport. That way, we will not feel the impact. So that's another issue. The silence that some organize is very, in fact, that's when they will even start forming anger.
It's because of our culture. You see, our culture, I was still having an engagement over the weekend, and I was talking to some set of couples. You know, a man is not providing, and is also silent. He's not talking. He's not engaging the wife. I say, come on, I can feel your support. I can feel that you're paying a lot of price for you staying with me. Honestly, things are going to change. That word alone will keep that woman, stay with you.
Yeah.
But you're feeling you are entitled to you. Hey, what should I do? Should I now go and steal? Come on. You're embarrassing your family already. So what do? You need to have good words. You need to communicate it right. Don't think you should know now. Come on. You need to say it. He said a soft-spoken words turn away wrath. So you need to communicate effectively. If things are not working, it's possible. But people will even feel for you because you're communicating. You're treating them like humans. But when you don't communicate and feel that, if they want to go, they should go. Come on. That's wrong. And I've been talking about people to even be humans. If you work in a place, working means you're not a human being. If people are working for you too, and you're not paying, you're not communicating well, you're not a human being. You've lost your soul. And these are the two things. So it must be two ways. The employee and the employer. We must regain back our soul and act well.
Very true. Anyways, that being said, we have come to the end of today's episode. I wish that we didn't have to end it because this is a very hot topic and I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me. But this is the end of the topic. Why do organizations delay salaries? If you want a part 2, let us know because we still have a lot more to talk about on this issue. But anyways, it's been an amazing episode with Mr. Ajibola. I studied maths so that if he asked me a question, but he now brought it from another angle. So I think I'll just start reading current affairs and everything to answer. But anyways, thank you so much for joining us on this episode.
You're welcome.
So to get more on this, do well to follow us on all our social media handles. This is proudly brought to you by Ceed Academy. And trust me, you will learn a thing or two on every episode. This is not just banters. We're trying to talk about things that relate to every employee, employer, and managers. And managers will definitely pick something. So will employees. Like today now, I learned that you should always have money in reserve. Don't be buying wigs of 500 K when your salary is 100,000. It doesn't work. You can't fake that till you make it. You will just enter inside BC. That's what Yoruba people call that. So anyways, thank you so much for joining us on today's episode. See you again on another episode. Till then, my name is Blessings Musugu. Bye.
Thank you.
Ceed Academy, your growth partner.